My name is Tanner, and you are?
Charles Fiumera.
When's your birthday?
July 8th, 1926.
And you were born where?
In Walton, New York.
So that makes you how old then?
I'll be 90 in July.
What was your childhood like? Do you have any specific memories or anything?
Well, I actually was brought up by my grandparents. I did visit my father's and mother. They were only a block away, and I visited them. I went in the service. When I joined the National Guard, and it was called Home Guard then, I was 16. And I joined the Navy, I was 17. And I tried to get the Marines, but I was colorblind. They had these great big pieces of stuff on the wall, like 699, like that, and I couldn't read them. And so the guy says, "We won't take you in the Marines." And he saved my life, because all those Marines that went to Okinawa and Iwo Jima, and about 90% of them were killed. Well, anybody that's been in the service will tell you, you don't get what you want. I wanted to be an airline pilot. And the guy said yes when I signed the paper, and I was never an airline pilot. And the next thing I knew, I was on a bus, and they took me to Virginia. And I got off the bus, and I said, "Where's my airplane?" And the guy laughed. He said, "What airplane?" And I said, they promised me that I'd be an airline pilot. He said, "You didn't even pass algebra." I said, "Well, what the hell's that got to do with, my airline pilot?"
Right.
He said, "We found out you're a good shot." They had 1,062 men there that day, and we shot for 3 days, and I outshot everybody in the regiment.
Really?
That's the honest to God's truth. So I got out of there, and the guy said, "You're going to be a shooter." And I said, "Well, I thought I wanted to be an airline pilot." So I didn't say anything. And the following day, they shipped me to Brooklyn. And two things that happened that were funny. I was in the largest, where all the ships are together, and they call it a convoy. I was in the largest convoy that ever went across the Atlantic.
Really?
200 ships, and I was in one of the ships, and each ship had to take their turn in the coffin corner, they called it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Germans were sharp. If they saw a ship in the coffin corner, and it was especially slow, which ours was,
right,
about 6 knots, they'd knock it off, and then they'd go under, and they'd wait till the next day till another ship come up there. Anyway, they tried it with us, but they made a mistake in that they came up right in the middle of the convoy.
Mm-hmm.
And we were ready, all of us were trained on them to shoot them, and it was, general quarters, and then they started yelling over they don't shoot, because you hit your other American ships, you know.
Right.
So here he was, the guy in the U-boat from Germany. There they were in the middle of us. So they ducked out of the way, and they tried to get him with those things that they're like this. They had a name for them.
Like a torpedo, or?
Yeah, it was more like it go down and it would go off under the water.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it would get them,
Yeah.
And they usually just you'd look to see if there was oil coming up, and they were smart, you know, the Germans were smart. They'd let oil go up, and then you wouldn't bother them anymore.
Right.
Otherwise, you'd keep, you know, bombing them. So we took off from Cape Town, South Africa. We went up into the Belgian Congo, a place called Secundi, and took on some sort of bananas or something right during the war, and then we went from Secundi to right across to Trinidad, and we stopped in Trinidad. We didn't get off, and my next stop was Houston, Texas. I'd never been there, so that was our next stop. So then I rode the train for almost 24 hours to Brooklyn. I have 3 medals.
Right.
One as I'm very proud of is bravery and valor. I've got that, and the other 2 I can't remember what they're for. And then I've got I think 8 citations.
I've got these too that you gave me. Your dog tags,
Oh, yeah.
probably
Yeah,
4 or 5 years ago.
yeah,
I keep those in my lockbox.
yeah. Let's see. These are 601-88-35.
It's your number?
Yeah,
601-88-35. You're right.
yeah. I can still remember that. Some of this stuff, it'll never be told again. I'm telling it once, and you know, you're the only one that knows it. About the thing, when I finally came home for the last time, when I broke the hill over by Donsville coming down in, you know, I started in crying, and I just I love the United States, and I love Walton, New York. I was so thankful to God that I was American. I mean, I could have been anything else, but I wasn't. I was an American, and I appreciate the fact of being an American. A lot of people don't, but I do. And like my son says to me, he said, if we had another war, you'd be the first guy in line. I said, you're right. I would be. Because this is what, I mean, I had the best chances in my life, and of course I married the best woman, and I had a wonderful bunch of children. How are you going to beat it?